We're going to go straight now to Donald Trump's headquarters at West Palm Beach in Florida. Talk to our correspondent, Kethevane Gorjestani, who's there. Kethevane, we're expecting Donald Trump to speak very shortly, aren't we?
Absolutely. We're right outside of the convention center, and sorry for the umbrella, but there's a big Florida storm coming down on us. Donald Trump is expected to speak very soon. The images from inside the convention center show a packed house. We've seen some figures of the Trump orbit, if you will. There was, for example, Tucker Carlson, as well as RFK Jr., who, of course, had wanted to run for the Democratic Party and then turned to Donald Trump and endorsed Donald Trump, who is there too. And so this whole crowd now waiting for Donald Trump to speak there. We saw a few people before the rain started coming down, people who saw Donald Trump's motorcade arriving here, some young voters who were so excited to see the motorcade coming through. One of the supporters was a first-time voter, and she said that she was happy to have made history by voting for the first time and voting for Donald Trump. She said that she disagreed with the policies of Kamala Harris, and that as a devout Christian, she felt much closer to Donald Trump. And really what we've heard here in the past few hours already was a sense of celebration, an atmosphere of confidence growing and growing as the results came in. People chanting, "We won, we won," with Trump flags flying around, people trying to get a glimpse of any of the guests coming into this convention center. And of course, everyone very eager to hear what Donald Trump has to say, as he is looking very likely that he will be returning to the White House, even though all of the results have not come in. Here, at least in West Palm Beach, outside this convention center, there is absolutely no doubt for these supporters, and you can see some of the cars driving by behind me honking their horns in celebration for Donald Trump.
Still a long way to go, Kethevane, but I mean, it does seem as though the Republicans and Donald Trump have done, a lot better than was envisaged, certainly in the polls, certainly what we've been talking about over the last few days. There were some hopes from the Harris campaign that there was a last-minute bounce, particularly amongst women, but none of that seems to have come to fruition.
Yes, and I think what will be very interesting in this election, besides the questioning of how the polls got it wrong, it will be to see the breakdown demographic by demographic of what exactly happened. Because, of course, there was this talk of this record-breaking gender gap this time around. Probably the margins are not the margins that the Democrat expected, but also looking at what the margins were with the male vote, for example, for Donald Trump, especially among male minorities, whether they're Latinos or African Americans. That is something that will definitely be something to look at, because there were questions about whether or not Donald Trump was going to be able to peel off a sizable chunk of those male voters, especially those male minority voters, younger males. All of that is something that will likely have made the sort of coalition, or at least enough peeling away from Kamala Harris to give Donald Trump some of the good results that we've seen. Because in states like Georgia and North Carolina, for example, we saw that Donald Trump did better than last time around, did better in rural counties, but also did slightly better in Democratic strongholds, in the big cities, in the big suburbs. All of that will have to be analyzed, but it definitely seems that the demographics in this case seem to have turned out in favor of Donald Trump. One question to look at also is going to be whether or not women actually broke for Harris, and if they did not, which type of women did not in the end decide to vote for Kamala Harris and turn to Donald Trump?
Kethevane, thanks very much. Get out of the rain, have a bit of a break. Of course, we'll be back at West Palm Beach, though, to hear Donald Trump as soon as he steps out on stage there. We're expecting it fairly imminently, so we'll keep following that for you, of course, here on France 24.